So Velvet Buzzsaw is the latest film by Dan Gilroy. You might remember Dan Gilroy from Nightcrawler. Well, he's back again with Jake Gyllenhaal. And I really loved Nightcrawler for how it really felt like it said a lot on the world of entertainment and how news thrives on tragedy and disgust. It felt like that film said it a lot. And now we have Velvet Buzzsaw, which is trying to say something on the world of art. And mostly like, how art is driven up in popularity, how people buy it, and how people critique it. So you have a pretty good cast here. Pretty good cast ensemble for this little production here. You have Jake Gyllenhaal playing Morph, who's essentially this stuffy art critic who likes to buy stuff and is very, likes to write pieces up on stuff. He's very messed up in the head. He's kind of bisexual, so he's kind of deciding between women right now, and he's caught up in it. Then you have Renee Russo, you have Toni Collette, you have Billy Magnuson, you have John Malkovich, you have all these different players in the art world. Some of them are curators, some of them are artists, and some of them are just trying to break into the art world. So you have all these different interesting characters assembled here, and the premise is that essentially the art starts coming alive and killing people. I think one critic said that this film is kind of like, if you had it set in the art world, it was kind of Final Destination. Because it does have a lot of bizarre kills where paintings start coming to life and killing people, which is not a bad concept. It's a pretty interesting concept, but the problem I think is, like, well, what more do you say with it than that? Because like Dan Gilroy films, you always feel like you gotta feel like they gotta say something more. Just something like Nightcrawler, like it's got to have some type of commentary on it, and it does. Unfortunately, it's very blunt, and it's not very clever. Like, a lot of the dialogue here really pushes forward the blunt nature and mostly the foreboding nature of what's going to happen when these paintings come to life here. Yeah, it's essentially saying that, this world is scummy, and that, the people who deal in art are very like, horrible people, essentially. Because what starts this all off is that there's an artist in this apartment building who winds up dead. And the person kind of living next to this person walks in, finds all this art, and says, "Oh, we should sell it. There's tons and tons of great art here. We should sell it in a museum." And they do, except then they notice weird stuff starts happening. Like the paintings start coming to life, or the paintings start lighting on fire, or they start consuming people and killing them off in various ways. Like sometimes they get stuck in paintings, sometimes they'll start dicing people up, sometimes they'll start strangling them. And all different sorts of art pieces come together here to kind of come to life and kill people. Notably, there's like the sphere that's supposed to be an art exhibit where you put your hand in and you feel a sensation. At one point, yeah, someone puts their hand in and then it gets like chopped up and diced up and shot out all over the place, which brought back pleasant memories of Phantasm. You remember Phantasm, one with the sphere that killed people and drained their blood and shot it out. I don't know, made me think of that film. Then you have some odder ones, like they had the robotic hobo man. He's kind of like a robot hobo who later stalks and kills someone later on. And they're essentially just killing out these people of the art world. And the kills, they're okay. They're kind of clever. They're kind of fun. They're very gory. That's what I like to see. But it really doesn't feel like we're saying much of anything here, other than the fact that like all the artists and the art curators and the art critics are a bit stuffy, and it seems like they got it coming here. It's like I kind of see what's being said here. It's kind of like, what if the people who kind of like dilute art and place like money and figures and popularity and like warp it, what if the art finally gets its revenge and attacks these people? Clever concept, but like I said, like it gets very blunt with it. And like I said, a lot of the characters here, they wear this, they pretty much wear their intentions on their sleeve here, and they have to state it outright. Where, like, I don't know, I get the feeling like maybe if it was honed just a little bit more, it could have been a film that said more. It could have, had like an interesting play on dialogue. It almost could have been a great satire. But in terms of like targeting the art community, it's like I can't really resonate much with any of these characters here. We don't really get to care much. We just kind of watch them, it's kind of like watching a slasher film where you're just watching, stupid people make stupid mistakes. And that's pretty much what's happening here. I will say that Jake Gyllenhaal, he does a great performance here. He does put his all into this role. I like the fact that he's unstable. When he starts seeing the paintings come to life, he goes nuts. He starts screaming. He starts checking his vision. He starts having, crazy ideas. He's basically just exploding all over the place here, which is great. That's what you hire Jake Gyllenhaal to do. Most of the other actors, they do put in pretty great performances as well. But like I said, they have to wear their performances, they have to wear their characters on their sleeve very bluntly. To the point where even one of them boasts a tattoo of a band they used to be in called like Velvet Buzzsaw. And you can kind of guess what's going to happen with that bit of art there. So a lot of the story, it goes about bluntly, and it feels kind of amateurish. I don't know. I don't quite want to say this, but I almost kind of feel like it's kind of like Southland Tales, where where this director did something really amazing, and then they give him like another big project with like similar people, and it just feels like it doesn't really come off as great as it could be. Like it kind of feels amateurish. Don't get me wrong, I give it points for a lot of the kills are great. I think the third act has some great kills, but at that point you kind of enjoy it more from a visual level than you do for anything in the script that's trying to make you like either care more about these characters or study more about them. In terms of how they relate to the art world and how they're kind of consumed by the art. So I really feel like there was a missed opportunity here, and I can really only give it points for the clever kills with art, which is a fun concept, but I almost felt like it should have gone just full crazy paintings going to kill people, because the more time we spend with this art community, the less we get to like them, and the less concerned we are when they start being taken over by the art. Although I will say that bit was pretty clever when one of them is killed by the sphere and the body just lays in the art museum and they think it's an exhibit for like a whole day. That's little stuff like that. It needed more craziness like that. It needed like a good slap of like some David Lynch craziness to go in there, because it does have its crazy moments, but it needs to be crazier.